Hello and welcome to the show, and welcome to the 1033rd anniversary of the Battle of Maldon, 10th of August AD 991. For this battle I'm using the following sources: the 10th century poem The Battle of Maldon, Battles of the Dark Ages by Peter Maran, and the Hail Caesar supplement The Battle of Maldon. I'm using the Little Wars TV Age of Hannibal rules. The miniatures are 6mm Baccus or Irregular miniatures, and my game will start after Byrhtnoth has let the Vikings cross the causeway. Although look out for an accompanying cameo skirmish game using Raven Feast rules for carnage on the causeway. So from a leader perspective, the Anglo-Saxons will have Ealdorman Byrhtnoth, who'll be of noble origins, and Godric will be the other general who's dishonourable. The reason being is he was one of the first to flee after Byrhtnoth had been hacked down. The Vikings are led by Olaf Tryggvason, who's a veteran soldier, and his other general is Guthmund, who I've made a drunkard, with no historical reference at all. Sources differ with the actual numbers, but I've given the Anglo-Saxon army a heavy third element. They'll have 2 units of Hussars, 4 Thanes, 6 Select Feared, and 12 General Feared, along with some archers. The Vikings will be outnumbered, but have better quality troops. They'll have 2 groups of Hussars, 6 veteran herdmen, 2 berserkers, 8 Bondi, and 2 archers. The Viking raiding party had set up camp on the island of Northey, but were stopped from coming across the causeway by 3 brave Anglo-Saxon warriors. The Vikings weren't happy about this and asked to come across the causeway so they could have a fair fight. Unbelievably, Byrhtnoth agreed to this. Now you have room, come quickly to us, warriors to war. God alone knows who may master this battlefield. Byrhtnoth and his army up here on the slight rise looking down towards the lowland, the causeway where the Vikings have just crossed from Northey Island. What have they done? Well, Olaf and his gang are laughing here. They've been allowed to cross. It's going to be a fair fight. Got the berserkers out front. They're going to smash into the Saxon line, see if they can disrupt it. And the rest of the shield wall will move forward. I'm going to have to roll for Guthmund. Has he had too many meads or not? The Vikings are lined up, ready to go. Well, there's going to be nothing subtle about this battle. It's going to be a general advance from the Vikings with archers on the flanks trying to do a bit of mischief. Saxon bows will try and take on the Vikings. Need 6s, no, and yes, that's 1 DMZ. And on the other flank again, both of them will take on the bows there. Yes, and yes, that's a double DMZ. And they'll be pushed back. The Saxon line will also advance. There's no advantage to them with this small slope. It won't give them any bonuses for fighting. End of the first round. Rally for the bows. They need a 7. They don't get it. And these bows will need 8. And they don't get it. They can still fire though. They'll fire at these. No effect. And these bows will fire at these. No effect. Right, the Vikings have moved forward a little bit. They want to be careful about... they want to get in all together. So at the moment, the berserkers are stamping their feet, bashing their shields with their spears and swords, hurling insults and frothing, ready to charge. Before we go any further, I just need to roll for old Guthmund. 1, 2, 3, he's pissed. He's okay. Just got a bit of Dutch courage. Right, well the Saxon archers will continue to harass them and possibly even here now. Let's try these first. They need a 6. They've got a 7, so that's a double DMZ again. So the Viking bows are not doing particularly well. These can now fire at these. This is just rough ground. It doesn't block line of sight. Again, they need 6. They don't get it. Over on the other flank though, these 2 bows will be firing at these Bondi here. That's 1 DMZ. and that's not. Right, the Saxon line will advance. They can only go 3 because of this rough ground. Archers moving up on the right flank. The whole line here edging forward. Insults are being thrown. The Thanes and Huskars are facing each other off. The Berserkers are ready to go. Vikings turn. They'll need to do a few rallies. They need 8, so they don't get it. The other bows also 8, no. And these Bondi will need 5. They don't get it. So Olaf will launch his Berserkers. He can't hold them back anyway, unless I do a rally check, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to try and use them to punch through the Saxons and then follow up. So they'll go first. We have our first combat. We'll start here. Berserkers are on 5, Thanes are on 6. So 12, 11, that's a DMZ for the Saxons. In fact, it's a double DMZ first round. There we go. They go back and they will follow up. And here it's going to be 5 against 5. Byrhtnoth is not going to get involved just yet. Ooh. Another double DMZ. This time it's the Huskars that are pushed back and the Berserkers will be smashing forward. So they've done well there. Forgot to do me bows, so they'll fire against them. No effect. And they will fire against them. Oh, DMZ. Right, time for some Saxon rallying. These Huskars and Thanes need sorting out. Huskars are normally 3. 5 because of that double DMZ. But Byrhtnoth will get involved, and because of his noble origins, it's again back to 3. So that's good news for them. Oh, but they don't rally. They don't fancy it. And these will be on 6. And they don't rally either. That is a disaster. All right, crikey. Let's do some bows here. That's them killed. And therefore these will fire against them. Ooh, another good hit. And over on the Saxon left flank, they will fire against them, see if we can get rid of them. Yes, that's the other bows gone. Right, firing against these from here. Need 6s above. Oh, look at that. Double DMZ, and they're gone back. Right, from a movement perspective, I'm a little bit loath to do anything with the Saxon line at the moment until I got rid of these Berserkers, which might not be so easy. So I think Godric will come over here. But because he's dishonourable, actually, he doesn't do anything at all. So that's a waste of time. He'll go back over here. I'm going to get him killed for no reason. Right, I'm going to start here. So this time they're on 4 because Byrhtnoth is involved, and they're on 3. They're not charging. DMZ to the Vikings. 3, 4. Which is a kill. Oh dear. So the Berserkers certainly doing their job there, smash through those Thanes and coming around to Byrhtnoth. End of turn. But even with that hole being punched, the Vikings will drop a morale clock to 7. I started it on 8 for both sides because of the size of the armies. Rallying for the Vikings, they will need 5. They get it. And they'll need 6, and they don't get it. Right, I think movement, they will swing around and flank the Huskars, and Olaf will still hold his horses and keep the main shield wall back until we get the results of this. So these Huskars are really under the cosh. It's 2 for the Berserkers because they've got a DMZ, but the Huskars only get 2 as well. They're double DMZ'd, flanked, but Byrhtnoth is involved, so it's 2-2. This is critical. Wow, look at that. So it's 8-4. Can you believe it? Those Berserkers have been killed. Gone. And I think they turn and face them. Wow, what a turn up for the books there. So it's the Saxon turn, and they will immediately rally. They need a 4 because Byrhtnoth is definitely attached now. In fact, it's a 3 because of his noble origins, and yes, that's going to make a big difference. And these bows will need a 7. Oh, they get it. And staying on the left flank, both of these, well, these guys will fire at these to start with. They need a 6. They don't get it, so the others will fire as well. Get a 6 or above, and they're killed. Ooh, yes, look at that. Another DMZ, and they're gone. And on the other flank, I think they're just unfortunately out of arc, but these can definitely fire at those Bondi there. Need a 6. They get a 7. It's another DMZ. And that is not good for the Viking morale clock. End of combat for that round, and the Vikings drop again, and they're on 6. So the Bondi need 5. Yes, they're okay. No missile fire. Olaf gets the order out. Charge. First major contact for the shield walls. So I'm starting this round of combat on the Viking left flank. It's not going particularly well. Look at all these DMZ markers going down. There's a couple of pushes there. But ultimately that is a disastrous start for the Vikings. Right, can the Berserkers finish off the Huskarls here? 3-5. That is a DMZ for the Saxons. Here, Olaf's getting involved. It's 7-5, which is 1 DMZ to the Vikings. And we'll now move over to the Viking right flank, and look at the DMZs going back towards the Saxon. Well, a complete difference in either wing there. The Saxon right did well, and the Viking right did well. Interestingly, for the morale clock, they're both even, so I need to work out what happens there. Neither side drops in morale. So Saxon rally, and it's all on their left flank. Huskarls here will need 3 because Byrhtnoth is involved. They got it. Of note, I've put down my casualty markers now. I'd forgotten them earlier. Huskarls here 5. No. Thanes 5. Yes. And again, no. Select feared 4. Yes. Yes. And yes. That's good rally by the Saxons. There's no firing because the Vikings are involved in combat. I think I'm going to wrap these guys around. They will move. Take advantage of anything that's coming out the back. Same here. They will wrap around. They will move. And they will move over there. And that's about it. Major ding-dong between the Huskarls and the Berserkers here. The Saxons need to sort themselves out, get rid of the Berserkers and get back into line. I'm going to do this one first. Huskarls are on 5, Berserkers on 4. I think I'd downgraded them earlier. DMZ back for the Saxons. So we're back over to the Viking left flank, and look at it again, all the DMZs, I can't believe it. It's all going one way. Huskarls here, they're on 4, 5, back to 4. And Olaf with the veteran herds is 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, look at that, which is a kill. All those Huskarls are gone. And back over to the Viking right flank here, where there's a couple of DMZs for each side, and it's pretty even. Well, after that titanic struggle that round, I can't believe it. Look at the DMZs again. It's all bad news for the Vikings on their left flank, but not so bad for the right flank. However, the morale clock is tipped just in the favour of the Saxons there, and the Vikings drop to 5. So the Bondi here will need a 5 to rally. And they have, as have they. And they have, this is good news, veteran herd need 5 also. Yes. And these chaps will need a 4. Oh dear. Obviously Guthmund isn't much help there. And they need 6. Ooh, look at that. 8's automatic anyway. 6 for these. Ooh. And 5 for these. Oh, look at that. 8-tastic. Should have had them earlier. They will re-engage. They will re-engage. And here, they will flank. They will flank. And they will flank. Olaf will move here. I think these have to turn and face. So it's Huskarl attack there, and these guys are flanked. I'll start here. Huskarls, they are flanked. They're down 1, so it's -2. But they have Byrhtnoth here. So they'll be on 3. The Vikings will be on 5 because Olaf's involved. 5-3 to the Vikings. Oh my word. So that's going to be 6-10. So it's a DMZ for the Vikings. Mess that up. Back over to the Viking left flank, and they're doing slightly better here. A couple of double DMZs and pushbacks there. But Guthmund's gang aren't too happy. They've gone back. But that's a kill on the Saxons. So we just had a kill here on the Thanes. Need to roll for Godric. What's happened to him? 2. He's killed. Ooh dear. Morale clock drops by 1 immediately. Saxons are on 7. Although that's being pretty generous to Godric. And on the Viking right, there's a lot of DMZs for the Saxons. So again, the Saxon left flank not doing particularly well. They're holding, but they're all DMZ'd. Carnage in the middle. And ultimately, that means that the Saxons are going to drop 1 morale clock. So they're down to 6 now, and the Vikings are on 5. But it's the Saxon rally now, and these will need 7. Oh, yes. Oh, can you believe it? 5. They've got it. 2. Oh, just. 5. Yep, they're doing well, the Saxons. No. No. Oh, I spoke too soon, obviously. No. Movement. Now, they'll get in for 1. And start watching the orders numbers now. They've got 6 of them. Those will move around here. 4, 5, and I think we'll probably get about 6 on them. They will be in the rear of them. We'll get some action in the middle with the Huskarls here. 5 for the Vikings and 4 for the Saxons. So that is 1 DMZ for the Saxons here. This is a real ding-dong. Nobody getting the upper hand at the moment. The struggle on the Viking left is pretty even. And it's no great surprise on the Viking right that those Bondi are hacked down, surrounded. Although some of the Saxon feared are wavering. And this is the critical melee out of all of it. They're even on the morale clock scores now. The Thanes here are flanked. They're on 3, the Vikings are on 4. So that's 11-7 DMZ. And after that, I'm afraid it is the Saxons that drop on the morale clock, and they're down to 5. It's 5-all. This is a real ding-dong. Right, they need 5. Yes. 5. Yes. Also 5. Doing well. Now what about this lot with old Guthmund? They need 4. Yes. Huskarls with Olaf. They need a 2. Come on. Oh yes. There we go. And finally these Bondi here will need 5. Yes, so that's a fantastic rally by the Vikings there. Right, they've got 5 moves. Well, clearly they are going to get back in there, along with Guthmund. They will flank. I think that means they have to turn and face, because they are the better troops. they will have to turn and face them, I think. And that is it. There's not much movement for the Vikings. They need to keep the line. And we're back to this critical fight in the centre. It's Huskarls against Huskarls. 6-3 for the Vikings. Which is 11-10. Ooh, look at that. It's a double DMZ. They've got to go back, and they are destroyed because the Berserkers are on the flank. And what's happened to Byrhtnoth? Is he going to get cut down? Ooh, look at that. He's gone. Sorry, fella. You could have fulfilled your destiny. Saxons dropped to 4 immediately. So I'm going to go through one by one now because we're at a critical point in the battle. The Vikings are on 5 and the General Feared are on 3. 9, 7. That's a double DMZ. 6-3. Which is 7-5. Another DMZ here. It's all one-way traffic at the moment. 6-5. Which is 8-12. So that's DMZ for the Vikings. Something going back for the Saxons there. 6-3 for the Vikings. 8-7. Another double DMZ. Saxons are losing heart. So Huskarls against Select Feared here. It's 4-2 because they're flanked. Which is, that's a kill. Ooh dear. So these Thanes are DMZ'd and flanked. It's 5-2 to the Vikings. Which is 12-8. Double DMZ, and that's a kill. Thanes go down. And the final round here, it's 6-2. Which is 14-5. It's another kill. Saxons getting carved up. Just looking at the centre here is Olaf, Huskarls to his front, Veteran Herd to his right, Berserkers front left, and Huskarls to his front left, and there is nothing left of the Saxon centre. The 2 leaders have been cut down, and although they've still got notionally a force morale of 3, that is it. The Saxons have lost, they're running away, and I'm going to call it there. It's a Viking victory. Scores on the doors as follows: 2 leaders hacked down, 2 units of Huskarls, 3 Thanes, 2 Select Feared, for a total of 7. Off camera, I did start to do a 50% DMZ check with a result of 4 units disappearing. When the morale clock hit 4, I should have also done an unreliability check for the General Feared and DMZ'd each failure, but to be honest, it all happened a little bit too quick at the end, so it would have been even worse for the Saxons. From the Viking perspective, although they lost a similar number of troops or units being killed, they were of the lesser quality. I think what really did for the Saxons was that smash into the centre by the Berserkers, followed up with the Huskarls and the Veteran Herd. The Saxons couldn't handle it. So there we have it, the Battle of Maldon AD 991, just like what history wrote and just like the poem. Thanks for watching.